I'm gonna say a third time. Your time is very valuable.
Okay.
People are taking.
Okay, my time is valuable. Okay, then, thank you, Danny. My time is valuable. Okay.
Yes. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fire Podcast.
Yo,
I'm glad to be back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, or watching us on YouTube. We appreciate you, and we love you, and welcome back for yet another episode. Once again, I feel we get excited every week because it's just important topics for everybody
it's so
to hear.
good, man. We going through it. We need the wisdom. Y'all need the wisdom. We gon' impart it as well as take it. Always, yo.
And while we were discussing what topics to do for you guys, like we were analyzing our own lives and the people around us, like what are people going through in this season? And I think like this episode is going to be really good for a lot of people out there. So make sure you guys stay tuned, watch until the end.
I feel like I needed this.
Yeah,
3 years ago, like 4 years ago, man. It's insane. Yeah. Well, how you been, Danny? How you been doing?
I'm good. To be honest, life's pretty.
I saw that you were a little constipated at the beginning of the episode here.
What?
Yo,
don't say stuff like that.
My man was like,
don't say stuff like that. Nah, I've been good, bro. I've been chilling.
That's good, man. I'm gonna assume that you're gonna ask me the same thing because I assume that you're a good person.
I'll be nice today.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, you better. I've been good. Danny, thanks for asking. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
Good. How's work? Everything's good.
Work is work.
All right, enough about our days. It's time to get into the episode.
As per the title.
What
are we talking about today, Danny?
We're talking about having routines in our lives.
Oh my gosh, give me a break.
Bro, most people are like, bro, that's not as deep as your other topics like guilt, forgiveness, pride, and
this has to do with your life. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I think about routine. Everybody's like, your morning routine, maybe your skincare routine.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe you've got like a workout routine. I don't know.
I mean, other topics do have to do with our lives, but I'm talking about this is like day-to-day living.
Yeah,
that we're talking about here.
That's true.
Like you might think of it as like something, washing my face every morning. I don't got to think about that. It's deeper than that, man. It's way deeper than putting on some cream on your face every day, some like lotion and stuff, bro. It's
before we start, I just want you guys to envision your entire day. You know, when from the time that you wake up till the time that you're in deep dreams, envision your entire day and picture all your routines. All the things that you do every single day, repetitive after repetitive after repetitive. Good habits and bad habits. Ones that maybe you didn't think of in the moment or you thought of just now. But think about those routines and you really process it throughout the whole episode.
Yeah, like be mindful of just how you live your days. And we're going to like basically unveil like the bad things about it and how to get good ones in, right?
Yeah.
Well, man, just for like me personally, I think you gotta know this about me, man. This has been a battle.
Absolutely.
And not even like just like lately. This has been a part of my life for maybe like 6 years. Just to go back how much I can remember. Like really not having a routine, just being like, because I correlate not having a routine with like procrastination.
Okay.
Because man, that's like in of itself, like procrastination.
Yeah.
You hear that word and I'm like, I probably just convict. I feel like everybody that heard that word is like, man, and I do procrastinate. Like, dude, I struggle with this like so bad. It's insane, man. Like, just to give a quick story, like I think I already gave it on this episode, but I want to give it again. Like, I was in New York seeing my. No, this was like a long time ago. Yeah, no, in New York. I was a kid and we had a science fair, right?
Oh, you did talk about the science fair, yeah.
The science fair. I knew about the science fair that my school was gonna have, like at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. I knew for like 2 weeks. I knew it. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
It's not until the day of the science fair that I told my mom I needed a board, markers, paper, scissors, like everything I needed. And then my mom was like, how long did you know about this science fair? I'm like, I don't know, like 2 weeks.
Oh, they just told me yesterday.
And I'm like, and like it's not until an hour before that I got everything situated. Yep. I got my stupid little egg project. You put the egg in the bottle and you put a match in the bottle, see if the egg can go in there without you touching it.
And knowing moms, like how fun was it making that project 1 hour before the fair?
It was like more of a job.
It was like a war.
It was like it was like I searched up easy science Like all these things I do now, like they started as a kid, man. Like doing those lazy habits I've had began as a kid. Like me searching up easy science fair projects to do.
So I've done so many of those.
And like, I did like, dude, this has been a part of me for so long. It's like, man, I want to get over this. Like, and I'm glad that we're talking about it because like I'm in that process. You know, like it's been a part of my life for just so long. Yeah. And it's like it's time that we get into that, right? So look, this is what I kind of this is what I want to start by saying. Look, I wasn't taking the necessary like. Okay, look, because of me not having that routine, that rhythm, like there was a point in my life where I was truly frustrated. Like,
what did your life look like during that time that you didn't have the routines? Like, what's your daily go about?
Man, I feel like the best way I could put it is, I just lived life. I kind of went with the flow. Like, you know that saying, right?
I'm gonna talk about that too with my life story.
Go with the flow.
Yep.
That saying is good for sometimes. Like some topics, go with the flow is cool. But when it comes to day-to-day living, nah, it's not.
No, definitely
it's not good. No. It's not good at all. But like after living like that, and the way I would describe myself is the waves were moving me and I just went wherever it went, wherever it took me. Going with the flow, right? Living that life, it frustrated me so much, right? And even in my faith walk, right? Before, I mean, that was a thing before Christ. And now when I met Jesus, like that carried on to my faith walk. You know, I remember there was a moment where I was in New York again. I went to like one of my old houses I used to live in. I watched this sermon. It was a really good sermon. I wrote down notes. Just that I felt like I had to watch the sermon. And I remember after I watched this sermon, I got like so frustrated. Like I left, I put my phone in my bed. I went to the bathroom. I just sat down and I was like, I'm just so mad. Yeah. Like I was mad that I wasn't where I was supposed to be at.
Wow.
Like I was just so mad that I knew that I could be better than where I am right now, but I wasn't there.
And you think the lack of kind of routines, the lack of day-to-day living in a certain way affected you in that way?
Oh, most like definitely, right? Because Jesus says like carry your cross daily, like do that stuff daily, like read the word. And I knew that stuff. I knew like I had to make sure I read the word and like get that stuff in, but I didn't. I lived life by feeling it out. Like every time I felt like I needed to, let me read it. Like it wasn't ever like I had my feet on the rock. Like I had a foundation where I'm like every day I got to make sure I get this done, and I didn't do that, right? And that's why that frustration came in me, where I was like, and I remember in that moment I felt like the Holy Spirit like just like patting my back, like it's okay, like because it's real, like that frustration. I don't think I ever felt like that before. Yeah, it was the first moment when I was like, man, I'm frustrated that I'm not in the place I believe I should be in. Even though I know how to get there, I'm not acting in the way that I know.
I felt that too. Like, I feel like that it was the same thing for my life. I had a long season where I was pretty disconnected from the Lord, and I had no routines in my life. Mm-hmm. No routines. I would wake up, and like you said, it was just like I was just living. Yeah. As in, like, I was just there. Mm-hmm. And I know there's a lot of people that feel that way. Yeah. This lack of purpose. And I feel like routines cause this feeling of lack of purpose. They cause depression. They cause you to go crazy because you have time on your hands now, right? You have this free time. And for me, it was free time. I would get back from school, which everybody does. It's just a normal routine. Get back from school. My routine at that time was to take naps as soon as I got back from school. Not the best routine. Yeah. And then after that, it was like you either do homework or you hang out with friends or you play video games until late at night. Yeah. So the routine that I was in was not a routine. It was
non-existent, right?
Yeah, I didn't have a routine. It was like, oh, if friends want to hang out, then I'll go out. But I didn't have this thing where I woke up and I say, I have to get this done. Mm-hmm. This kind of motivation to make me push myself to be better and to grow and to get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like one verse that I always like when I think about is, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of God, right? And what does that mean exactly? Like, the same way we show concern and importance to like get our food in, to make sure we drink enough water, to make sure we get enough calories and protein, like should be the same way that we show concern and importance to get like our Bible time in, to get our reading time in, to get our God time in. And I think about that, I'm like, wow, that's crazy because, like Jesus said, I'm the bread of life. I'm like the water of what does it say? Living water.
Yeah.
Like he's comparing himself to food. Why? Because we need food to live, right? Like you need to like eat. It's like a weird like analogy, but like you have to eat the word, right? Like the same way. The way I put it is like the same way you intake food to live is the same with to intake the Bible to get like everlasting, abundant, and fulfilling life. Is the way I would put it. And like that's
What do you think are the dangers of not having a routine? Like I feel like there's people out there that have a routine, but it's like, you know, they wake up 6 a.m., 7 a.m. to go to work. They get back at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and they have the rest of the day. Maybe they'll hang out with somebody, watch Netflix, just chill, and then go back to sleep. And then that's their routine for the entire day. What is that like? What do you say to that?
I just feel like, what are you even working towards? Are you working towards idleness there? Right? Because in reality, I mean, like, what are you doing? You know, like, you're working, you're going home, hanging out. That's fun. But like, do you have any goals in mind to work towards? Right? Like, and just to get into it, like, when it comes to just routine and like, I want to set like this comparison, right, between rhythm and reaction, right? And what you're saying is like a person who just lives by reaction. Like the way I'd put it is a person who lives by reaction is a person who only acts when their emotions tell them to, right? Or like when like their stress indicators go all the way up through the roof, right? That's when they actually go do something, right? And like that's not good, right? Like just to give an example, like let's say you have a test today, right? And you just remembered that test when you woke up. And now you got to study for that test, and in other classes before that, you have that class.
Not even, bro. You show up to class, and you're like, what's up, guys? And they go, you ready for the test? I'm sorry, what? What did you just say?
Not even. You start studying for it like the second, and that's me assuming that the class that you have to study for is at the end of the day.
Oh my god!
Like, if the class
is the first period,
if the class is the first period, like you took the L, game over. Like get out. Like you took the L there, right? Or like
just hand the test back to the teacher and not even put your name on it. Like it's not even worth it at that point.
Like you don't do anything until your stress is like like crazy. Oh man, I have to get this done now.
Yeah.
You know, or you got homework due in 30 minutes. You didn't do anything until you got to write down some bologna sandwich on that paper. Do all the easy questions first, and give it like get a 50 on it, even though you get something in.
I knew people that would ask to go to the bathroom, and then I peek out the door, and they're in the hallway going crazy. I was about to say,
like people used to go like to the bathroom before a test just to like share answers and like copy like people that have already taken the test, like go to them. Yo, what the test looked like? Was it hard?
Oh my
gosh. But like that's the thing, you do that in the moment because you're like, oh no, I'm gonna get a bad grade. Like
out of fear and
it's
stress,
out of fear, out of stress. Like you're living out of a stress indicator. It's like whenever your stress is up, then you're like, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
and that's talking about like simple and like, you know, like situations that don't have real repercussions. But what about like real like things that like maybe, you know, now we're out of high school and we're onto like, you know, jobs and just living. Like I feel like there's more real life situations that could affect us.
Wow. That's
way bigger.
I mean, because people, if you're out of school, then like, what could be an example of that? You know,
like maybe you wasted your weekends doing whatever, and now rent is due, and you don't have enough to pay for the rent. Now your stress indicators are off the roof. Now you got to work overtime until whatever time, and you're hustling. Your bones hurt because you've worked so much because you got to pay rent.
Oh my gosh, and you have no peace. You're living out of stress. And that's like one thing I wanted to say with the stress indicators. Like you have those stress indicators, but like, where's your peace at, man?
Yeah.
Like you gotta think about that. Like just imagine like you, instead of letting your stress tell you when to do something, you choose to like be prudent, get that stuff done before. I'm saying this because I should have told myself this like 20 years ago, like 2 years ago, bro. Like I was like all those examples I gave is because I did it. So like, but like you gotta imagine what if in those moments like you actually did it, like you did the homework, you prepared for the test, you got the project done. You can go to sleep with so much peace, bro.
But you know what's crazy?
The like, peace is like you can't get the peace. It's right here, and you're like, I can't even get there.
There's moments where, you know, I get into good habits and I'll do the assignments and the homework early. The time comes when it's due, and I'm so used to doing it last minute that I freak out. I'm like, oh shoot, I have an assignment due. And I'm like, wait.
Crazy.
I did it last week.
Crazy.
What? And I could just chill out and I got free time going on. And I was gonna ask you something like, ooh, excuse me.
Ooh.
Excuse me.
Gotta get out of here, man. Can't do that over here.
For me, I was gonna say like my excuse during high school was like I work better under pressure. When the essay's due next morning, that's when I work the most efficient. And I guess I asked my best friend this because he's in architecture and they have crazy assignments due, all like big projects.
Yeah.
And some people leave it last minute, and like you said, their stress indicators go crazy. But okay, you get the essay or you get the project done and you did it quickly. Did you do it well though?
Yeah.
You worked efficiently, but did you really like give it your best shot and your best work?
Like the way I would say it, it's just because I can compare it to like when preparing for a sermon, like when preparing for to speak about something at the church. Like, am I giving the Holy Spirit enough time to like work in my sermon?
Wow.
And that could work to like worldly, not just like sermons, but like
absolutely.
And anything you're working towards. If you leave it for like the day before, you're only giving that time for you to work on it.
Yeah.
Like you have crunched up your availability to like make that thing perfect to one day.
Yeah.
And so now you're going to get 1 day's work of work when you could have got 2 weeks of like beautiful furnished, like amazing everything.
Yeah.
You could have made that thing beautiful, right? Like it's a simple example. It's like
and you would have been at peace while you did it.
And that's too, like imagine like, oh my gosh, it's just so crazy, man. It's just so, it's just like, it's so real for me.
He's excited, guys.
It's so real for me because I know how it feels.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It's so much easier when you're able to like work on it every day, finish it beforehand, and those other days you're just chilling.
Yep.
And like you're not stressing over it because that's how it is for like that's how I know how it feels when like you're stressing over a project that's due on Friday and it's Monday and it's Thursday and you didn't do a dang thing, like because I know how that feels. So it's like imagine if you did that, like the peace is insane. And I guess I can understand that, like people work better under pressure because like I guess I could use that example too, but. Like another example I was going to say, let's say you have a test due tomorrow. I mean, not a test, an essay due tomorrow. You work on it until 3 a.m., right? How good is that test going to be? I mean, that essay going to be?
Yeah.
You're going to work on the most like wackest essay that humankind's ever laid their eyes on. It's going to be like terrible. Everything's just terrible because you don't have time to like perfect everything.
Right.
And I think that just goes for like a lot of responsibilities, right?
Yeah.
Like with work and with that example you said about that guy who just goes home and hangs out, goes to sleep. Like,
yeah.
Like it's all about, The real question is like, what are you working towards?
Yeah.
Like and like, what are you?
A lot of those people, like, right now they're living comfortably, but they don't realize what like the hardship they're gonna go through in a few years when everything starts hitting back at them.
Yeah.
And all those hours they spend on video games instead of like working and growing towards something. And look, we're not saying you need to start a freaking, I don't know, company or do something crazy.
Yeah.
But if you look, this is where the routines come in. If you read your word in the morning and you ask God, work in me today, do something in me today. If you go through your day working on being fruitful in one fruit that you chose, today I want to be more loving, and you work on it. You just grew and you just focused your mind on something and you grew instead of just
did something with that day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that I was going to say is like when you don't have routine, your mind goes crazy. Your mind goes loose.
Yep.
You just start thinking about other stuff. You just start, your mind starts wandering off into other things instead of focusing on something that could be benefiting you.
Yeah. And like again, with reaction, right? Just to
right. I was gonna say we went to like a little rabbit hole.
Like
shout out Ben.
Get back to thanks, Ben. To get back into reaction, right?
Yeah.
So you react with your stress in school, but like you said before, it goes deeper than that, than just school. Right? I would say this when it comes even to like a faith, my faith walk, or to anybody's faith walk. Like you get that indicator of, man, I gotta get closer to God. Like, oh man, I have to read my Bible more. I feel like I'm backsliding in my faith. And like that like indicator comes up of like, oh man, I should do something about this. It's not good, right? And that isn't bad, right? It's actually good. It aids you to get back on your feet. But what happens after you feel that feeling, that motivation dissipates? Like what happens after that? Like that one day when you're like, man, I need to get back to God. I know God is for me. Who can be against me? I know God has my purpose.
Yeah.
And God's better than the things I do. And he gives me like everlasting life. And you feel that motivation. And like that one day you get a lot of stuff done.
Dude, so many people and me, bro. Do you know how many times I've said I've had those spikes of motivation
Yeah.
for a few days, then it goes down and what did I do? You know, like, am I relying on that motivation to actually get stuff done?
Wow.
Because what if I have a hard season where I don't have motivation for a few months? Am I just going to be not fruitful at all for all those months?
If anything, you're going to go back down to the place where you're like, I need to get back closer to God.
Yeah.
And so it's a constant cycle of you reacting to your emotions instead of like, overcoming the flesh. And no matter how you feel, you do something, right?
That always reminds me of waking up early in the morning to work out. I feel like I know everybody listening has at least one time in their life said, I need to start working out. I'm going to wake up early tomorrow before work, before whatever, and I'm going to work out.
Crazy.
First day, you're excited. You're like, ooh, it's going to be cool. New routine. Let's do this. A few days later, wake up. What? I don't want to get up. I only had a few hours of sleep. I went to bed late. I'm not going. It's really cold out. I'm comfy in my blankets. I'm not going. Because your feelings are telling you I'm not going.
Yeah.
If you let your feelings control... Do you think those bodybuilders that worked so hard to get there relied on their feelings?
Oh my gosh.
1,000% not.
No, not at all. And I love that. I feel like I don't know why we can use bodybuilders in this topic so well. It's because they need to have a routine, right? There's a verse in the Bible, I think it's in Galatians, where Paul's like, I train my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should.
Yeah.
And like, I forgot the rest of it, like, therefore that I will not be, I forgot the rest of it. But like that first part, like, I train my body like an athlete. Even Paul knew that guys that train are disciplined.
Yeah.
Because as an athlete, you have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to bodybuilding, you need to be in that gym like every single day, eat right, be disciplined, like have a routine.
Even when you are in the lowest of lowest and you don't want to be there, they are there. They are there. Yeah. Times, a lot of us have had those days. If you work out, like you had those days where, today wasn't a good workout. I didn't really feel it that well.
I know how that feels, yeah. You still go.
It was your feelings. You still went. You still won your battle. Yeah. And that's okay. As long as you're there and you're working toward. And that's just a working out example, but that goes with everything.
Exactly. And just for people that are curious if there's any Bible verses that have to do with bodybuilding, there is one. And like, I forgot, you're always going to put the verses down, but like there's a verse that says, but physical training is good, but spiritual training is much better, promising benefits in this life and life to come. So it acknowledges like, strength training, physical training is good. Yeah. Or in other verses it says, or versions it says, physical training is of some value. Yeah. So I just want to give that out if anybody's curious because it's kind of cool. I think anybody who works out and is like Christian, I searched up what does the Bible have to say about bodybuilding? But that's what the Bible says about that.
Yeah, but dude, routines are you done talking about reaction versus
one more just to say that the one quote that can just kind of encapsulate. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know.
Just add it to the In the Fire dictionary.
Thank you. Yeah. That feelings are great servants but terrible masters.
Wow.
Right? Or in Lewis's version, I'm going to say that feelings are a good way to get you on your feet, but they should never lead your steps.
Oh my gosh.
Picasso. Picasso.
You guys are allowed to use that quote wherever you want. You guys want to use that as an Instagram caption? Go ahead, yo.
If you guys want, just make sure you at In the Fire and at Lewis. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. All right. Well, we get it. Reaction's bad, right?
Yeah.
No bueno.
Stop relying on your feelings.
Not living just by how we feel, right? That's always terrible. Yeah. So then what do we do to not live a life of reaction, to not get things done when stress is out of our minds? What do we do, Danny?
We live a life of rhythm.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is where the routines come in.
Now, what does it mean to live a life of rhythm? What does that mean?
It means incorporating good habits, routines, and rhythm. I mean, they all go together, but of course. But in your day, you want to have good habits, and you got to replace those bad habits that you have. Because I know people have bad habits. Like I said, my napping one after school. Sometimes I wasn't even tired. It just became a routine of me taking a nap. We have those bad habits. We have those good habits. And we just have to start being more, what's the word?
Aware.
More aware, but intentional about how we work in our day,
Yeah, and I think, just thinking about it, when we're talking about incorporating rhythm, right? Making sure we do have a rhythm. But the thing is, we already have one. We have one already. But is that the best rhythm we do do we have, right? Because my rhythm that I'm gonna be honest, right? Sometimes I go home after work, lay down on my bed,
Yeah.
go on my phone for like 2 hours. I have a rhythm there. But is it a good rhythm?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a growing rhythm? Is it an edifying rhythm? Am I actually working towards anything in that time?
Yeah.
I'm not. And so this topic isn't just about like, laying that foundation. It's about breaking the foundation we already built and laying on that new marble, that new concrete, right? That will like stay there no matter what you put on it, right? So it's more than just incorporating and like making sure you have like good routine. It's about identifying the bad ones. It's about like understanding that I already do have a routine, but I got to get out of that one because it's not good for me.
And look, I just want to tell everybody out there that's listening, your time is valuable. Your time is very valuable. I'm going to say it a third time. Your time is very valuable. People are taking...
Okay, my time is valuable. Okay, then, thank you, Danny. My time is valuable. Okay.
Yes, because people are taking their time for granted. Do you know how many hours we spend on TikTok? How many hours we spend on games? How many hours we spend on stressing?
Wow.
Oh, called a lot of people out on that one.
Ho, ho, ho.
How many hours we are wasting our time not growing, not being better, not leaving a legacy, not advancing, not progressing.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Not changing, not transforming. All because we want to stay in this comfort zone.
Yeah.
We need to add these good routines, these daily routines
Yep.
that will help us grow and help us be better.
Yep.
Instead of just staying in this idleness that you talked about, in this constant cycle. Because what you did the cycle for years, and now what? Your life flashed before your eyes. You're freaking 50 years old, and you've done nothing because you were idle that whole time.
Crazy.
I started incorporating reading my Bible and praying in the morning.
What an amazing Christian.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Danny. You're an amazing example Christian.
You know how
Thank
it is.
you.
You know how it is. I've said it before. I've been a Christian my whole life. Just recently did I start reading my Bible. Yeah, it's bad, but I was like, wow, like I need to be intentional about this.
Yep.
I'm on day 163.
Wow.
Thank you. Everybody clap for me, yo. Everybody clap for me, yo.
Good job, Danny.
But I'm gonna tell you straight up. There's sometimes I'll wake up, I'll pass my alarm, I'm late for class.
Ooh.
I wake up and I'm like, I go, God, I look at the ceiling, I'm like, God, you know I always pray to you. You know I always read my Bible. I'm really late to class. I love you. I'm out, yo. I'll I got you tomorrow. Instantly, I felt this weird feeling. This just...
Conviction?
I don't know if it was conviction. It was just this weird feeling because what happens when you break a routine, when you break a habit, when you do something every single day and you don't do it once, you feel weird. You feel weird.
Yes, sir.
So when we incorporate these good routines, these good habits, you're going to start feeling weird when you don't do them.
Wow.
And it forces you to be better.
Yes, sir.
Like our work. Work has become a routine. When you wake up, even though you slept 30 minutes, you have to go.
You have to go, yeah.
You have to. So these good habits are a have to. They kind of force me. So that day that I was late for class, I turned around, I sat back down, I said, God, just control my teacher's anger. Hopefully she's not too mad. I'm going to read my Bible at pace. I'm going to not rush it. I'm going to really take it in.
Wow.
And I read my Bible and I prayed that day normally. And I'm glad I did because I don't know how my day would have went if I didn't.
Wow.
But these are things that we have to be intentional about.
Yes. Wow. And like what you said, like it feels weird when you don't do it one day. But there's also that view of when you don't do it one day, you're available to not do it another day. So the crazy thing, I like what you said, was like, when you incorporate those good habits, those good routines, you don't do it one day and then you don't feel good, right? But what happens when you don't do it one day? When you don't do that good habit that you start incorporating one day, that actually leads you and kind of makes you more available to not do it a second day.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why consistency is always important, right? These bodybuilders don't go whenever they feel like it. Like we said before, they have to go, right? Same thing at work. You have to go to work. So it's always that's like a routine. But imagine if we were like that to ourselves. You know how we have, like, we hold work. I mean, of course we have to, but I'm saying, like, holding that same standard on us. Like, no, I have to do this. Yeah. Like at this time I must do this. And that's discipline.
Yeah.
That's having self-control. Like and what were you saying, that thing you burned into our hearts like 5 minutes ago, and you're like you have what would you say?
Your time is valuable.
Your time is valuable. Your time is valuable.
Don't mock me, yo.
Yo, like just to add on to that, I have a verse, Ephesians 5:15, 17. I know the verse now, guys. Okay. All right, I said the verse, the verse number.
And that's fine.
Yeah,
that's
thanks.
Fine.
Yeah, okay. Right, it says, therefore be careful how you walk, not as unwise men, but as wise, making the most of your time because the days are evil. So then do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is.
Yeah.
Don't be foolish.
That's it. Don't be foolish. Don't be foolish.
Don't be foolish. That's it, guys. That's really what I want to say. No, but like it's saying be careful how you walk. When you, like if there was a bunch of Legos on the floor and you were barefoot, you would carefully like examine every single step you take, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, gotta put my big toe right here. I gotta make sure I maneuver on over here, right? And the Bible is saying be careful how you walk.
Yeah.
It's not talking about you maneuvering Legos. It's talking about how you work in your life, your day-to-day living. It's talking about the same way you'd be so careful depending on where you step if there's Legos on the floor.
Yeah.
In the same way, the way you look at your life, your habits, view that like in intentionally, like view that like so careful. Be super careful how you move. The way you live, the way you wake up, the things you do in the beginning of the day, the things you do at the end of the day, the things you do like in the middle of the day. Be careful how you walk.
Wow.
Be intentional what you do.
Wow.
Every single thing you do, like examine it. The same way you examine that foot, wherever you're putting that foot down when the Lego's there. You don't want to step on the Lego, right? You got to examine like what you're doing. Like, what are you saying? Like just in general, what actions are you doing in general, right? Like, are you reading? Are you just playing games instead of doing something else?
Don't make it it was just another day at work type of day. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like I said, your time is. You want me to start saying it again? Your time is.
Please, no.
Your time is. Don't make it. Oh, it's just another day at school. Oh, just another day at work. No, make it. Today I learned this. Today I worked toward this.
Yeah.
Today I made progression in this. Today I advanced in this. Always be doing something because your days are numbered.
Yes, and having that rhythm.
And
every
look, there's people in the Bible too. The book of Daniel. He got down on his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God.
Rhythm.
As he had done previously.
Rhythm.
Book of Luke. And as was his custom, he went to the synagogue on the Sabbath day and he stood up to read.
Rhythm.
Rhythm. These people had rhythm. They were constantly doing it. You need to start incorporating these good habits into your life.
Yeah, and start and I feel like also what people can be saying when hearing this is like, well, easier said than done, Danny and Lewis. Easier said than done.
It is.
But yeah, we know it is. We know
if
this.
Life would, look, I always say this. If life was easy, then we would all be like the best people on this planet.
That's true. It's not.
Growing is difficult. Growing takes. When you want to grow I feel like we always relate it to working out, but to grow your muscles, you need to tear them down first. You said it too, breaking that foundation. You think breaking a foundation is easy and feels good? No, it's gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel nasty. It's gonna feel uncomfortable.
Changing the way you act is hard and weird, and it's gonna be uncomfortable.
Yes, transforming your heart and changing the way you think that you've always thought, changing the way you've always acted is gonna be difficult, and uncomfortable.
Wow. It's crazy. And that's what enables that. It enables that growth. It enables you to start doing those good habits and having that rhythm.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it all day, but like it's like I feel like the first step is always the hardest.
Yeah.
Right? Cuz it's always like the beginning, you have to do it. Like but in those beginning weeks, what happens? You adapt.
Yeah.
Right? Something I like just kind of understood was like the body adapts a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Like I take pre-workout, right? And pre-workout is something you take before you work out. It has a lot of caffeine in it, all these different substances that make you work out better and stuff like that. You know, like I take maybe not as much caffeine as I should.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, your body adapts to it, right? It gets like used to the caffeine intake. And so you have to stop taking it in order for the body to get back to like feeling something when you take a lot of it. It's like your body adapts to like situations, right? And that one example, but that also goes with life. When you have those good routines, you're going to start adapting to them to where it's part of you. Like when you like, I remember we had this person come into our church and he was speaking about like, you know, praying to Jesus every morning, like talking to Jesus every single morning. I remember he's saying like the one day he didn't do it or something, like he just felt so weird. Like he just said, like just what you said, he felt so weird. Like like that's part of me now. And so when I don't do it, I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's to the point, that's where I want to get. right? Like, so just like I feel like I haven't really said what I'm doing, honestly, in terms of routine. Like, I've been trying to make sure I pray every day, or pray like in the morning and the night, of course, as well as like reading the Word at night, because I can't really read in the morning. I mean, I could, but like, I want to sleep, and I can't sleep well.
Yeah.
Like, I try to read at night and just get the wisdom I can get in and make sure I use that day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, a long time ago, when in the beginning of my faith, I heard like a quote that this pastor said, where he was like, if you didn't get closer to God today, or you didn't learn more about God today, then you have wasted this day. Wow. I was like, hey man, that's like every day. Damn,
I've wasted a lot of days. Yo.
But at the same time, like, that holds me to a standard that I can reach for.
Yeah.
I can reach for that. I can reach to like read my Bible every day. Like, it's reachable. I can get that. Yeah. I'm not like saying every day I'm gonna read 3 hours and make sure I grow as fast as I can, because I know myself and I wouldn't do that. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. So that's the thing too. Make sure your goals, your routines that you're trying to like start, because again, this is the hardest part of starting them, is making sure they're reachable. Like, you can reach them.
Yep.
Get to them and not like...
And clear. Make sure that your goals are clear.
Yeah.
Before you start a good habit, you want to know, what am I trying to reach? What is my goal here?
Yeah.
So that way that when you, like, when evil just tries to incorporate thoughts in your head of saying, why are you doing this? This is lame. Like, this is boring. Wouldn't you rather use this time to sleep? No, you remember your real goal, your real purpose for doing this good habit. Another thing I would say is get some supportive friends and family. Get some people that will keep you accountable. You know? There's times when you're not gonna want to do it. And if I go up to you, Lewis, you read your Bible today? You're gonna be like, dang, okay,
it's
fine.
Oh my gosh, man, that's so important, dude. Having people to help you out, like that verse.
Yep.
As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Yeah. Like, that verse is just so good.
Another one. Be positive, man. Be positive. You're doing something good. Celebrate your wins. Yeah. Celebrate your wins, and when you fail, don't beat yourself up. Yeah. Don't have turn self-judgment into self-compassion.
Wow.
You failed. That's okay. That's okay. You might have felt weird. It was off. But to build a habit, you need to do it every single day.
Yes.
You need to do it. Like, that's when it becomes a habit. I think it's like 66 days, I think it is, to build a good habit. You failed, but that's okay. Be positive, man. Don't beat yourself up, or else, like you said, you fail once, you don't let that extend to 4 or 5 days. Yeah. Next day is a new day, restart. Yes. Let's get back on that habit.
That habit, yes. Yeah. And routine.
That's what routine's about.
That's what routine is all about. Get in those routines. Get in some rhythms that will edify you. Yeah. Read your word. Understand that you reading the word is God speaking to you. You God giving you wisdom, guidance, knowledge. Beat the flesh. Understand that you don't live by your feelings. You don't serve your feelings. Yeah. You serve God. And if you don't serve God, then don't serve your feelings. Like, don't live by your feelings. Yeah. And just incorporate those new routines that will help you out.
Awesome, man. Great episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, or watching us on YouTube. We appreciate you. Like, comment, share, do all that good stuff. We love you. Peace out.
Peace.